Once colleagues, political allies, and even friends, New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio now clearly hate each other's guts. In fact, in the words of the New York Times, the two Democrats are engaged in a feud so nasty, petty, and prolonged that even in the cutthroat politics of New York, few can remember ever seeing anything quite like it. What sparked this poisonous rivalry? Who started it? What are its consequences for the people of the city? And is there any chance that it will end anytime soon? Joining us now with answers is the New York Times chief metro political correspondent, Shane Goldmacher, co-author of the recent Times article that went inside one of America's ugliest political feuds. Shane, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So, Shane, over the weekend, this feud that you wrote about last week flared up, as it tends to do.
Almost every week.
I know, and we'll get to that in a second, but let's start at the beginning. You know, there's no dispute that these two guys were colleagues. Cuomo, when he was head of HUD, hired Bill de Blasio during the Clinton administration. They were political allies. De Blasio helped Cuomo in his first run for governor back in 2002. Maybe they were allies before that. But there is a dispute as to whether they were ever really friends. Some say yes, some say no. What did you discover?
They were certainly allies of convenience. I'm not sure they ever, knocked back drinks together. But they did travel in the same political circles, and they were seen as a team. When Andrew Cuomo ran the housing department in the 1990s, he appointed Bill de Blasio as his point man, not just somewhere, but in New York, the state where his father had been governor, the state where everyone knew Andrew Cuomo had his own political ambitions. This was a really important job to Andrew Cuomo, and the person he picked, the person he trusted, was Bill de Blasio. So were they close friends? No. People say, he treated him as staff, as Cuomo has treated most people who would work for him. Didn't see him necessarily as like a close person, but an important political ally, absolutely.
We've talked to a number of veteran reporters, New York reporters and polls, and we often hear that, hey, feuds between New York governors and New York mayors, nothing new. It goes back at least a century, and the recent examples they often cite are Rockefeller versus Lindsay, Mario Cuomo versus Scott, or Pataki versus Giuliani. It's usually worse when they're in the same party. How is this one different?
It's similar in that regard, right? That there's a structural problem in New York, or maybe not a problem, but a structural issue that creates tension. Right? The state oversees so much of what New York City wants to do. New York City wants to raise taxes. Go ask Albany for permission. New York City wants to do almost anything. Red light cameras, go ask Albany for permission. So there's going to be natural tension. What's worse between these guys is, A, that they were once friends, or at least close allies. That's not the case with these others. With Mario Cuomo and Ed Koch, they ran against each other. They hated each other long before this dynamic came in. So that's what's surprising. They were supposed to end this. They're supposed to work closely together. That's a first big difference between the two. But there are others. The visceralness between this. One of my favorite anecdotes in the story that we told is, there was a story last year that Bill de Blasio might nap on the job. He may occasionally take naps on the couch, appeared in the New York Post. Andrew Cuomo, who can be often press-averse, doesn't do a lot of, out taking questions, got on the phone with the New York Post the next day, said, just to be clear, I don't nap. It's this level of vitriol. It's so petty.
Yeah. So listen, who started this and what started it?
I don't know that there's a who started it exactly, but it started in the very beginning of the very first year of Bill de Blasio's term when he wanted to raise taxes. He said you have to go to Albany, had to go to Albany, raise taxes for pre-K expansion. Andrew Cuomo said, I'm not going to raise taxes. It's an election year. Republicans run the state Senate. It's not going to pass. And Bill de Blasio pushed for it anyway, and it really frustrated Andrew Cuomo. He felt like, here's a guy coming into my turf and asking me to do something. I'm telling him it can't be done, and he's not taking no for an answer. That set up this tension immediately. Yeah. And at the end of that year, the mayor's team now points to a different part of that same first year when the police started turning their backs on the mayor.
And the governor didn't support him.
The governor didn't back him.
Yeah.
Or didn't help him, at least.
Yeah. So, it always seems, well, before I get to that, tell us what happened this weekend. What was the flare-up this weekend? Can you give us a summary of that?
Yeah, so the biggest flashpoint between these two right now is about public housing in New York City. They've been fighting over whether the governor should be giving more money and whether the mayor's messing up. And so it seems some folks in NYCHA were trying to organize a letter to go after the governor here and accidentally sent a copy of this draft letter that was not supposed to come from inside the government to a reporter. So some ham-handedness here that, again...
So people in the de Blasio administration were drafting a letter that was supposed to be signed by pastors.
Community groups or outsiders.
And they accidentally sent it to the Daily News.
Yes.
You know, that's...
You can send it to me, CC Shane Goldmacher.
You know, de Blasio usually gets the worst of this feud. Is it because his people make mistakes like this? Is it because the governor has sharper elbows, or is it simply because the governorship has more power than the office of the mayor?
I mean, it's definitely both of those things. The governor has sharp elbows. He's feuded with lots of officials long before Bill de Blasio and often gets the best of them. But it's the structural issue. It's how much power the governor has compared to the mayor. As in our story, the mayor's press secretary said, if I don't like something, I can't appoint a monitor to go oversee the governor's misdoing somewhere else in the state. But the governor can do that for New York City, and he has.
All right, we have 30 seconds. How is it affecting the people of New York City, this feud?
I mean, it is affecting them. One, their government's not working well together at various levels of government. The one potential plus side, NYCHA and some other things are getting an infusion of money from the state but Cuomo's doing it to sort of exert power and pressure over New York City.
All right. Well, Shane, it was a great article which you wrote with our good friend, David Goodman.
Yeah.
I hope people read it. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.